Hello, hi, good evening. Today we are going to learn about the constraint placement in Revit Rebar. Let me show you how it works. So now I'm not selected anything. So if I select any element, I can select the rebar. Once I select the rebar, there is an option called constraint placement. So what is constraint placement? So you can give F1 and you can read in the web page. Okay, so this is showing it is going to snap to the rebar. Let me show you a small demonstration. For example, this works for a column rebar. Okay. For example, if I go to, I have to take a section first before placing a column rebar. Okay, I have to cut the column to view. So this is my column section. If I go here, I can see the column. Let me put the new crop. And this is my column and foundation. I'm going to place rebar in the column. Let's go to structure, rebar. Then this is going to be a straight rebar. And I'm placing the rebar here. So you can see I need the rebar perpendicular to the cover. So now you can see in the first rebar I'm placing. First rebar, it doesn't matter. Okay. You can place with or without constrained placement. No problem. It will automatically take the rebar reference plane for snapping. You can place, but when you are placing the second rebar, you can see the difference. Constraint placement unchecked. Now constraint placement is unchecked. Now you can see I can place the rebar just like this. But if I enable constraint placement, you can see I can't place as it is clashing to the rebar. It will just snap and it will follow the rule. So this is applicable only for the standard rebar shape. Okay. For example, if I take any rebar and I'm supposed to select the rebar shape from the list, and then I have to use in the model. So when it is constrained placement enabled, you can see here this is snapping to the edge of the rebar. Without the constrained placement, this will just place wherever you keep. Okay, so in case if you want to follow the edge of the rebar, just enable constraint placement and then place. So this is applicable for a rebar moving also. For example, select and you can see this is constrained. If I copy to the next location, you can see I'm placing it in the middle, but you can see this is placing to the edge of the rebar. In case if I disable the constraint placement and then if I copy, you can copy anywhere you want. So this is clashing and this is correct. So for copying, for moving and to place new rebar, you can enable constraint placement. After placing, you can edit the constraint. To edit the constraint, you can click here. Now you can see this is showing the constraint from the cover and from the edge of the member. It will not show the constraint from the adjacent rebar. So that's why when you are placing the rebar, you have to enable constraint rebar placement. This edit constraints tool will work for a horizontal bar and a vertical bar. So for example, if I take a section, in case if I place a reinforcement here, so after placing the rebar, I can just select the rebar, then I can edit the constraint. You can see here this is 0 mm. If I click, it will highlight, so from which reference plane it is calculating. Okay, if I say 12 mm, it's supposed to be minus 12 mm to be away from the plane. You can see now it is 12 mm away from the cover reference. So if I give 0, then it will be exactly on the cover. You can also disable the constraint. You can disable all place, or you can just disable the selected rebar. Finish. Okay, so this is about rebar constraint. You can place the rebar with the constraint placement tool, and you can also edit the constraint once you place the rebar. That's all for now. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.